So, Dennis Kaufman pushes across this exciting theory that a lot of dots on a radian were murders committed by his stepfather, Jack Torrance, masquerading as the Zodiac Killer. Let's take a look at these dots on this map. Fascinating. Oops. Whoa. Okay, so wait. So Dennis Kaufman presents this theory, and he wants us to believe that all these dots on this map were murders committed by Jack Torrance. Well, here's where my questions come in, and there's many parts to my question. Part number one, who are these dots? Well, more specifically, question to Dennis Kaufman would be, who do these dots represent? Were they men, women, couple killings? When and where did they die? How did they die? Were there any suspects in the case? Was there any modus operandi which would imply that the Zodiac, or whoever the Zodiac was, also killed these people? In essence, was there a common modus operandi? Looking at these maps, I can see three possible serial murders, those murders being Zodiac, which would be some of those San Francisco area killings that we see on there, the Sonoma Co-ed murders, not Zodiac, from what a lot of investigators have determined, and of course Ear-Ons, which would be some of those Sacramento killings in there, as well as possibly some of the other Central Valley murders and crimes that may have been represented on those dots. So, part two of this question would be, if we were to compare the density of these dots for the era that you present, which is mid 60s to 75, 79 to 81, and compare them to the density of dots in the same area before and after those times, as well as that slot between 75 and 79, how would those compare? And by the way, if you want to insinuate that all of those dots were murders committed by suspect Torrance, why should we believe that the murders that didn't occur during those time periods, that occurred during the outlying time periods, were not committed by suspect Torrance? Or, alternatively, which makes more sense to most normal thinking, rational people, why would we not believe that those murders were committed by somebody who was not Zodiac during those time frames? There's a lot of questions, of course, that the map can lend us to, but this is going to be my final one. My final question is, if we are to take this map at its word, are you insinuating, as you seem to be, that suspect Torrance committed all of the murders on those maps, including ones that appear to have occurred in the Central Coastal Range, including those that appear to have committed in the High Sierras, including those that seem to have no rhyme or reason or connection to any of the other murders? There's an awful lot of dots on this map, and I, for one, have a very difficult time believing that they were all committed by Jack Torrance. So let's look at the final part of my question. So, has it occurred that a lot of these murders that are represented by these dots occurred in areas that are either major metropolitan areas in which there are a lot of unsolved homicides, and also areas where there would be common dumping grounds, such as, I don't know, in the rural areas near Mount Hamilton, in the High Sierras. It looks like one of the Radians may go down State Route 25, up above Franz Valley Road and the areas around the Sonoma Co-ed killings. I mean, there's a lot of these murders occurred in areas where you would expect to find either body dumps or unsolved homicides. So my question would be, if we were to compare these areas in terms of unsolved crime density to areas that do not fall on the radians, what answers will we come up with? There's a lot of questions that remain unanswered. and Dennis Kaufman is the one who has left them unanswered. Dennis, you need to present the evidence as to who was killed, when, where, and how, and show how it's relevant to your case. It's time to put up or shut up. Folks, I have bad news. The United States has lost the war on drugs, and now people who are completely batshit insane as a result of these drugs run the Zodiac theories, apparently. So, the next time you're thinking about lighting up, I want you to remember something. Only you can prevent crackheads. I'm Eric Becker, and that's the way that it is. I apologize for the occasional stuttering in this video. You see, I had just created a hamburger that was supposed to be a great hamburger. A really great hamburger. You would have loved it. Except I put way too much seasoning salt on it because as I was dumping seasoning salt onto the burger, well, the lid came off and dumped like a gallon of seasoning salt onto the burger. Then I tried to eat the burger. It's like 2 hours later, my mouth still tastes like seasoning salt. And so, if I was a little bit weird with my words, that's why.